All right, man. So, as you know, this has been a crazy, crazy ass week, man.
Worldwide. Worldwide.
Like every single thing is just like either exploding or just setting itself on fire. So, with that, it's also time. Well, actually, it's also that time again. And what time is that, Lionel?
It is time for this week's drama-filled episode of Off the Top Rope.
Oh yeah, man. We got here's some topics that we're going to be talking about today. So we got the WWE releases that happened. So we're for sure going to talk about that. Naito's last match in New Japan in a New Japan ring. Oh man, and we got much more. We even got TNA. So we got much more. So sit back, relax, and look forward to the episode, guys.
It's going to be a crazy one.
Yeah.
A lot is going on. Proffitt, where are we starting? What are we hitting first?
You know what? Let's start a little light, okay? We're gonna go that TNA is no longer allowing blood or blading in matches.
That is... Okay, so I think we can all be in agreement.
Yeah.
They're shopping themselves out around right now, right? They're either trying to get another TV deal or they're trying to sell. One of the two.
Right.
But at the same time, this is also they're kind of WWEing it a little bit.
Yes.
we're not saying TNA bladed all the time. They definitely did not blade all the time. But, they did it enough. They were blood in some matches, and now they're just gonna strip it completely. It's definitely they're trying to sell for a TV deal, or they're trying to sell.
Yeah, I think I really think they're trying to sell, man. Like, I think this is like one of the first steps of them just making it more appealing for WWE to buy them. Hell, if you watch their shows lately, it's like another branch of NXT now.
NXT 3.0.
Yeah, just like, they can go out and travel and go to other places, but not that NXT doesn't, but
I mean, when they're traveling, apparently in Vegas, I don't know if you saw this video. Apparently, they're in a half-empty T-Mobile arena. So,
which that's a big arena to be half empty.
Yeah, it's WWE, right? You gotta have the spectacle, so you have to have the big arena all the time. You don't because WWE, you have to. You don't have a choice, but
But all right, correct me if I'm wrong.
Uh huh.
During the black and gold era of NXT, I forget which one. It might have been when T-Mobile just got up, or a little before that. It's either T-Mobile or MGM, but they sold out.
They used to Black and Gold used to sell everywhere they were going. Remember
Yep.
the Bayley versus Sasha 2 out of 3 falls match? Not 2 out. It was 2 out of 3. No.
I think it was 2 out of 3.
God, I don't remember what it was now. That's still one of my favorite NXT matches, by the way. I don't remember what the stipulation was. I think it was 2 out of 3, but yeah, they were in Brooklyn. They sold out. I think the Brooklyn Bowl. I think it was. NXT Black and Gold was selling out arenas everywhere. I don't know about NXT 2.0 because I don't watch current NXT. It's not my vibe. But yeah, I don't know if they don't sell everywhere or they just didn't sell out here, because they were not everyone's having problems selling out here, but yeah, it wasn't really great.
Yeah, well, so I don't blame people for not coming out anyway.
No, everyone's saying Vegas is dying right now. I see it all the time. Vegas is totally empty all the time. That's not fully true, but
That's not true.
yeah.
It's just locals are smart enough not to go to the casinos.
Going back to TNA though, like it's not, there's not really a lot to talk about the topic, right? Like,
Yeah.
More than likely they're going to be selling, and more than likely they're going to sell to WWE, because they're already kind of moving in that direction anyway. Like, they have a bunch of NXT people on TNA all the time anyway. I think their main title holder is feuding with someone from NXT now also.
Yeah, he's about. I think okay.
Joe Hendry and Trick.
Yeah, Joe Hendry and Trick Williams, and then after that it's going to be Joe Hendry and Obafemi.
Yeah, so he's not even feuding with anyone in the promotion anymore.
Nope.
Like, he's actively feuding with NXT talent. So
Yeah.
if they're gonna sell, go ahead and on sell. But it would be just bought Triple H, so there might be people are gonna hate that I'm gonna say this. They might be a little tapped out right now, because they're not really doing so hot right now, even though they have record profits.
Oh yeah. No, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. So next up, is related to New Japan.
Oh, this one's gonna hurt me.
Yep. So I'm gonna let you take point on this, but I'm gonna tell people what we're gonna talk about. So it's Naito's last match in the New Japan ring, and the possibility of maybe he or forcibly passed the torch to Yoda Tsuji. So with that, take point, Lionel.
Listen, I watch wrestling Dontaku on Dontaku. Unlike a lot of people out there, some of you on Blue Sky who say they watch New Japan, I actually watch New Japan.
Right.
That is, to this day, still my favorite promotion. We talk about AEW every week. My favorite promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. This Naito situation is very weird to me. If we're going to talk about people who have left New Japan, it has been in abundance lately. Like, yeah. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. But everyone else who left, they've had some kind of like defining match. Like, okay, Okada didn't really have a defining match, so I guess that doesn't really count. But Okada was like beating all the young people on his way out, and then he cried. Ospreay had the dog pound steel cage match with Bullet Club War Dogs, right? That he lost and he got booted out of New Japan. Jeff Cobb even had time, despite the fact that they kind of, this is partially on New Japan also because they keep on doing these handshake deals, but Jeff Cobb even had like a moment to like take the microphone and like say something to the crowd. Naito did not. Naito was definitely, he was wrestling matches. He was wrestling mostly against like Just 4 Guys and stuff like that throughout this tour for Wrestling Dontaku. Mm-hmm. And last night was night 2, which was him and Bushi leaving. I want to give Bushi credit too, because Bushi's also dipping out of there. Naito said he was gone, Bushi's dipping. Naito didn't really take a microphone. It wasn't like a lot of conversation from him with the crowd. He didn't even look sad or anything like that. And he's also been kind of alluding to that this isn't going to be the last time he's going to be in a ring. So it's possible he goes somewhere else. I don't know where he goes because he needs a lot of rest.
Rest, surgery, everything.
He can barely see apparently. Like he had all the eye surgeries he can on his eyes. He is breaking down. But apparently like he kind of dipped out. Like here, I've been rambling, but let me explain the situation that happened. Naito had a 8-man tag against basically Just 4 Guys, right? Yeah. They have the match. Naito hit a very clean Destino on Taichi, but he doesn't even get the pin. Someone else gets the pin for the win. Then they LIJ all kind of stands around, and then Naito just kind of walks out. Bushi just kind of walks out. And the next match is Yoda Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura for the Global Championship. Of course, Yoda Tsuji, the boy, wins. Mm-hmm. Of course. Go ahead.
No, I said by design.
By design. Naito and everyone else come out. They do the signature little pose in the middle, and Tsuji's in the middle. So it seems like Tsuji's going to be the leader of LIJ, if LIJ is even a thing anymore, because Shingo and Tsuji were pointing out to like if LIJ is still a thing, like I'm going to do a thing. Like the end of the pay-per-view was Shingo coming out to also challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. But he was like, I've been losing a lot. My faction, I don't even know if I have a faction anymore. So we don't know what's going to be happening with LIJ. But neither here nor there. The point is, Naito kind of walked out and it didn't feel like he got the fanfare he deserved for being one of the guys of New Japan in this current era. And it's just kind of weird to me.
It almost feels like it wasn't amicable, right? Like it's either it's a few things, right? It's one of a few things. Either him leaving wasn't amicable at all, like they're really in a big disagreement, or it's I doubt this is the case, or it is a complete like pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. He gets rest for a while and then he comes back, type deal. Who knows?
It's very possible. We have no idea. It's just the way that he left does not feel like, if you compare to like Mina Shirakawa and Mayu Iwatani, like, and even like if you compare to like Jeff Cobb, Ospreay, not Jay White as much because Jay White kind of got booted up out of there, but Okada, everyone, it doesn't feel like this is a goodbye. And even I know Naito, Tranquilo, all that good stuff. It's definitely still really weird.
Yeah, unless that's how he wanted to go out. They're like, hey, we'll let you get all the time you need at the end. And he's like, nah, fuck that. I just went out. Let me go.
And I didn't get to see the backstage comments yet. They should be up now with English subtitles now, but I haven't got a chance to actually see them. But a lot of the stuff that they're saying, like even Tsuji was like, let's meet again sometime. So it's very possible that Naito might be just taking rest, but it doesn't make sense for Bushi to also leave. Because if it was just rest, Bushi would stick around, because Bushi's been around without Naito before. And, you know, they're best friends. If Naito's gone, Bushi's gone. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Bushi also leaving and giving up his spot in the Best of Super Juniors is also weird. Like, this whole situation doesn't seem right. Like, there's a bunch of rumor speculation. No one ever knows, right? But people think Naito's gonna show up in like Noah in like a week. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know about all that. But they just, it's because they just had Kenta there, right? And Kenta challenged for the GHC Heavyweight Championship, and Kenta lost. So people are saying like, oh, they must be waiting for like a bigger deal to come take the GHC Heavyweight Championship from, I forget the champion's name. I'm sorry, I don't watch Noah as much as I should. But yeah, there was like a thing where Kenta's over there right now, and the people are saying Naito might show up. Naito might show up in AJPW. Like, I don't know what is going on, but we just have to wait to see what Naito's doing next. I'm just saying, like, this whole, him leaving the way he's leaving right now feels really off compared to everyone else. That's really all. You have any comments on this? Anything that you want to say about this situation before we move on to like the big topic, I guess?
Yeah, like, it does feel weird. It feels really weird. We're gonna have to see where it goes, but either, like, it was, like, the reason for leaving was, like, some really bad blood to where he's like, nah, screw y'all, I'm gone. You know, oh, cool, this is my last match, alright. I don't want no fanfare, I don't want anything from you, I'm out. Like, type deal. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see.
It's just weird, because he is, Naito, I don't care what anyone says. Not everyone talks about, you know, Naito's knees, or he's built up by tape, like he's only held together by tape and shit like that. Naito is, I don't want to use the word pillar, but Naito is a very stable structure. Well, I guess was now a stable structure in New Japan. Their big three, I don't care what anyone says, their big three was Okada, Tanahashi, Naito.
Yes.
To the point where they pushed down a lot of other stars. Like, Tsuji couldn't beat Okada, even though Okada was going on the way out, right? Like, no one was touching Okada. Ospreay is doing what he's doing. Tanahashi's actively trying to, he's gonna retire in like 5 months, or like 7 months at the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom. So this era of New Japan and them, this makes not only the Best of Super Juniors, well, I guess not, because, you know, Bushi wasn't gonna win Best of Super Juniors, but this makes the G1 very interesting. Because we already had last year, Zack won, and Zack was like new, right? That's a new win.
Yeah.
Now they need someone else. And right now, if I'm going to be completely honest, there's only 2 people that I think could believably win the G1 without looking crazy. And that's Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji.
Right.
Unless you put it on like, Takeshita might be in it. If you have Takeshita win, maybe. Right, if you have Gabe Kidd win, Gabe Kidd will be a good one. But right now, they got to build somebody new. Because this is going to be... Tanahashi's probably not going to be in it. Naito's for sure not going to be in it. Okada's not going to be in it. So the people who have won for like the last 10 years, outside of like the random like Kenny Omegas and Zack Sabre Jr.'s, it's going to have to be someone new. And it's just going to... We're going to have to see where that is. We still got a couple months, though.
Yeah. Still got a couple of months. Man, I feel like they're going to lean heavily on their partners like AEW, CMLL to like fill some of the spots in the G1 this year.
They kind of have to, because it's going to be, they got people, right? Like Drilla got moved up.
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd's there. It's just, Callum is kind of going to be there now. He was in G1 last year. They have people. It's just barely anyone feels believable to win right now. And that's the problem.
Yeah. The star level isn't there.
They need to build, they have Best Super Juniors coming up, so they can't really do anything for the heavyweight division there. But they need to build up new stars for this G1. They don't have a choice. And it's just, New Japan's in a weird spot. I'm not going to talk about, there's a lot of other doom and gloom around New Japan right now. I don't want to talk about that. I'm already sad enough about Naito.
Yeah. If only a Shinsuke Nakamura was ready to go.
New Japan might have to do something to get him in there, because that might be the only way that they sell at this Tokyo Dome. Because who the fuck is going to wrestle Tanahashi on January 4th?
I have no idea.
Tanahashi actively wrestling the entire roster right now. Like, he's actively doing his Tanahashi, like, the last ride singles matches he's been going through. He already wrestled Zack Sabre Jr., so I can't do that again. He's already wrestled Shota Umino. He's wrestled basically almost, not everybody, but a decent amount of people. Who the fuck is he going to wrestle for his retirement match?
I have no idea.
Your guess is as good as mine. I watch New Japan. I watch every show. I couldn't tell you who it could be. But that's it. I've rambled on enough, and I'm gonna start getting sad if I start talking more about New Japan.
Oh, man. So, instead of getting sad, let's get a little heated up.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's get a little fire in there. Let's talk about them WWE releases this week.
Oof.
And I have the list, so I will list them off right now. So on the main roster, we have Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, and the last one from the main roster that they're just letting her contract run out. They're like, nah, we're not even renewing your contract. Is Shotzi Blackheart. From NXT, Caden Carter, Katana Chance. Those are both surprising to me. Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Javier Bernal, Oro Mensah, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, CM Punk's daughter, Cora Jade, and Riley Osborne.
Right now, I don't know half these New Japan. I'm stuck. I don't know half these NXT names. So I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. I don't know half of these people. The ones I know Eddie Thorpe because he came from New Japan. I know Cora Jade. I know Gigi Dolan. All these other ones, no clue.
Yeah, Riley Osborne. You guys go back way about, I don't know, 6 months ago when I was still reviewing TNA on the channel. Reviewed one of the matches where he was in a triple threat for the X Division, to fight for the X Division title. And yeah, he was pretty much a standout in that match. Riley Osborne was. And he was in there with, Ace Austin and Chris Bay at the time. So he wasn't in there with no slouches. He kept up with those guys pretty good. So surprised to see him on the list too. But yeah, let's break this down, man.
Can we, before we talk about these releases, we got to talk about that WWE was touting that they have record profits this year. They said WrestleMania did gangbusters apparently.
Oh, okay.
And we are still doing the bi-yearly releases.
Yep.
Also, I'm going to be a hypocrite because on Blue Sky, I was saying, can y'all stop trying to fantasy book where these people are going to go? We're probably going to do that here. So am I going to be a hypocrite? Yes. But, in my defense, some of y'all, these people got released in like 2 seconds later. Y'all were like, oh man, AEW could use this person. Oh, New Japan could use this person. Oh, this, that, third. I give it a few days. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, half of the people, they're going to hate what I got to say. So, yeah, like, they're either going to hate what I'm going to say or they're going to expect what I'm going to say.
I'm guessing, you know what? Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
You know what? So, there's a lot of the people. I'll start it off like this, okay? As far as AEW goes, AEW doesn't need anybody on this list, men's or women's division. There's some in the women's division that they would probably do decent, but at the same time, too, we don't know where all these guys, all their heads are at, right? The main thing that, if I was AEW, the main thing I would do is just sit back and watch where the hell these guys go. Watch where they land. What are they doing? What are they going to do? How are they carrying themselves now? Are they carrying themselves as like, hey, I'm the ex-WWE guy. You got to give me everything, right? Or are they back in the indies grinding, making a new identity for themselves, not relying on the WWE name? That's what we got to be looking for. And I'm going to tell you, half of these people, well, not even half, a good majority of these people are probably going to be looking for their way back into WWE. So, like, half of these guys aren't even going to be worth signing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, for an instance, Dakota Kai. That is, like, the number one. People are like, she needs to go to AEW. The hell she doesn't. The hell she does. You know why? The last time she got released, AEW was trying to sign her, right? Mm-hmm. They were actively trying to sign her, but it was between them and Stardom. The second Triple H called, she went running back. She pretty much ghosted both of them and just ran back to WWE to do Damage Control, to be the least used one of Damage Control, by the way. Mm-hmm. And after they saw she was injury prone, she sat the bench. Right? Braun Strowman, fuck him. He's going to go control his narrative somewhere.
Again.
He's probably going to be an NWA Power or something like that in a few months. Shotzi Blackheart, sit back and watch what she does, because she was one of the main ones talking shit about AEW back in she was talking shit about AEW, talking about they were botching and stuff like that. And then she goes into Royal Rumble and royally fucks up. And after that, she just doesn't get used anymore, right? So don't come running back now. Don't come saying that now. Like, the only one that like really didn't say anything like that towards the other company like was like Shayna Baszler. That's literally like the only one that hasn't been like super negative towards AEW or anything like that. And out of everyone on this list, she'd be the only one I'd go for, to be honest. But other than that, like Dakota Kai, no. Braun Strowman, hell no. Shotzi Blackheart, no. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, let them run the indie circuit for a bit. Let them find out who they are, because they still got that NXT. They got that WWE style and whatever in them. Gigi Dolan, Gigi Dolan, she is more than likely going to TNA.
I mean, with what she tweeted today,
yeah,
she's probably not going to be affiliated with anything WWE right now.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. She had matches with Orange Cassidy a long time ago, so who knows?
Yeah.
Eddie Thorpe, I don't know.
That was Carl Fredericks in New Japan. I don't know if he's gonna go back. Long story short, he left New Japan for a couple reasons, but the main one was the LA Dojo boys, including like Gabe Kidd, like basically most of War Dogs. They were not being used. They weren't able to go to Japan because of the pandemic. So they were kind of stuck in America, and New Japan wasn't really doing shows in America and stuff like that. So Carl Fredericks dipped out and went to NXT.
Yeah. So like most of the rest of these guys, like Javier, Oro, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, we need to see where they go, right? See what they do, because they're part of that group of people that are like, hey, they either didn't wrestle before and joined the WWE system, so they're just all they know is WWE. So they need to hit them indies. Like all those guys need to hit the indies. Cora Jade, that's a wait and see, man. Like I probably wouldn't. If I was AEW, I wouldn't take a chance on Cora Jade, because second, big nose call, she'll be running back so she can be with CM Punk, right?
Wasn't she also talking? She had like problems with people in AEW, right? Like she had a problem with like Darby and shit, right?
Yeah. So there's that.
Oh, and Sky Blue. I should mention Sky Blue, because there was that whole thing, that weird back and forth where she was saying like she was copying her or whatever.
Yeah, and whatever. Riley Osborne, I'm pretty indifferent on. The guy was on the indies before and doing the thing, and when he went into TNA that time and did that triple threat, he looked really good. He was pretty impressive. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in like Ring of Honor or something like that. But yeah, a good majority of these people, I want to see them hit the indies first before like AEW even takes a chance. Like the only one, if I was AEW to take a chance on, would be like Shayna Baszler. That's about it.
I'm gonna be meaner than you are.
Uh-huh.
Y'all don't need to sign anybody.
Yeah, they don't need to. No,
don't worry about it. Right now, look, like I said, I'm gonna be meaner than you are, because I'm already kind of running hot anyway.
Yeah.
Y'all just got rid of the people who didn't want to do anything for you. Like fucking Miro didn't want to take a pin from anybody. Malachi Black didn't want to take a pin from anybody, unless they were ex-WWE. And he dragged down his whole faction. They gave him a whole faction. He dragged them down for 2 years.
He dragged them down.
They couldn't even be on TV for years because Malachi didn't want to do anything with people that didn't work with WWE. Fucking, you had the whole Punk situation. That's all over now. There are a lot of people who you should not even bother, because right now the locker room feels like it's in a really good spot. There's no one in there that's not in it for the AEW team. And I know, companies, blah, blah, blah. You want to try to work for the company that you're working for. And you want to try to make them as big as possible. Unless, whatever. So AEW right now is in a very good situation where it seems like the locker room's good. Everyone's in the common goal of trying to grow AEW, make it bigger. They still have their partnership with New Japan. They have their partnerships with CMLL. They're literally going to go run Arena Mexico in a month.
Yep.
You know what I mean? AEW, And AEW right now is on a hot streak. A lot of people are talking about how hot AEW's been lately, and like how like WWE's on a kind of like a decline, and AEW's kind of on an incline right now.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it by trying to rush to grab people who just got laid off, because you'll be in the same situation. Because listen, I'm gonna go down the list for the people that I know. Braun Strowman's gonna talk shit about you for sure. He's not gonna want to do anything. He's gonna be a Miro. He's not gonna want to do anything. Shayna, I don't know about Shayna. Shayna, she's been wrestling everywhere. Dakota Kai, no. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance. The only reason you will sign them is if you really want to get the women's tag team running, but you have enough women to make your own tag teams. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
And don't sign anyone from NXT. Literally anyone. Don't even bother. AEW needs to stick to their course. Let them go wherever they're going to go. Outside of you, do not sign any of them. And just let them go and focus on what you've been doing to increase your brand, which has been doing well so far.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. That's why I said right in the beginning, before I even listed them off, that for one, AEW doesn't need any of them, right? And if they want to do a one-off, throw them to see if they can even like go like that, especially like say like Dakota Kai or Shotzi, right? Have them take the biggest test that anyone can take. You got to go against who is the standard of the women's division?
Which one? Ring of Honor or AEW's?
Like we're not even talking about like the upper echelon of champions. Like, this is the person that's the gatekeeper that you have to get through to get there.
Willow Nightingale or Chris Statlander.
Yep, you gotta go against one of them and have a fantastic fucking match with them. Because if you can't hang with the AEW women's division. Period.
And you gotta be okay with laying the fuck down.
Yeah. Oh no, you're losing.
You're not beating either of them.
You're not beating either of them. You're losing. That's why I say it's a one-off. We're gonna see where your head's at.
You know who had a runoff who didn't come back? That we don't even talk about because it was so random and on Ring of Honor?
What's that?
Ronda Rousey was on Ring of Honor like 6 months ago. However long ago that was.
Yeah, against Billy Starks and Athena, and they lost. Yeah, she took the L.
As much as a shithead Ronda Rousey is, at least she took the loss. On Ring of Honor. She didn't even go on AEW TV. She's on Ring of Honor.
Afterwards, she said she had more fun than anywhere else. So,
yeah.
There's that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. When pro wrestling happens, it's actually fun.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're questionable. Throw them to Chris Statlander or Willow Nightingale. And if they can't get past them, not even get past them. If they can't have a good match with either of them, they can't hang in the women's division. Because look, they've done the Chris Statlander test before. You want to know who failed that fucking test?
Say the name.
Camille. Camille failed miserably.
And she ain't been on TV since.
She felt so bad she ain't been on TV since. She could not keep up with Chris Statlander. At all. But you know who could?
Say her name.
You know who could? She gonna make everybody bow down. Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne got on there. She showed out. She not only passed it once, she went back for more and passed it again.
Megan Bayne had a very short and very interesting feud with Timeless Toni Storm also. So, yeah. Megan Bayne is part of the roster. Like, no, I don't care what anybody says. She also was willing to lose, by the way.
Yeah. She'll take her losses.
But that's the problem I have with these releases, because this always happens. And this is because we're gonna talk about this a little bit. Then I want to lay in on WWE, because we have talked about the wrestlers. It's still, no matter what, it's sad that they lost their jobs, and we don't want people to lose their jobs in this industry. Like, that's not what you want.
Not at all. And losing jobs sucks. I for sure know about that.
Yeah, that shit sucks. Like, we don't like that. That's not a thing, which is why I'm going to lay in on WWE a little bit later. But the whole point is, right now, if you talk about these people going to AEW, that's a no. You don't do that. The locker room is a very good place. Don't do that. Now, front and center, because y'all been having a lot of problems over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. They've been having a lot of problems.
We didn't even talk about the roast where they were being bigoted, racist, misogynist, like all the shit that they were saying, and some of the shit that was being said in that closed door roast, by the way. They said they made sure people didn't have their phones because they knew what they were going to do.
Oh, no. It was recorded, and then it was originally supposed to show on TV. It was recorded, and the shit was like so bad that they were like, "No, don't show this."
It wasn't even funny. They were just being racist and sexist, and like random wrestlers went up there just to air grievances. Like, what the fuck was Nyla Rose talking about? Fucking Charlotte Flair like that for?
Huh? Nyla Rose.
I said Nyla Rose. Jesus Christ. What is her name? Jesus Christ.
Nia Jax?
Nia Jax. There you go.
Yeah. No, she was shitting on Charlotte pretty bad.
I love Nyla Rose. I want her. We need to see her more on TV.
Yep.
But yeah, Nia Jax, like she was just like all of them, everyone up there took chances to just take pot shots at everyone who was there. It was weird. With Heyman saying what he did on the Pat McAfee show, with the people that you've had on screen, including like very known racists, like we know what you guys are trying to do. You guys have said that record profits, all we keep on hearing, record profits. Not SmackDown, WrestleMania did gangbusters. 2 days, 550,000 people in the arena somehow, despite the fact that, 2-day total of 159,000 people, despite the fact that Allegiant doesn't hold that many people in 2 days. But it's neither here nor there. All this shit, just for y'all to do this releases again. Y'all, every other company is able to at least take their contracts to term and then just not renew them. And does that suck too? Yes, for sure. Again, we don't want people to lose their jobs, but
right.
At least they're getting paid their entire contract. Mm-hmm. WWE, y'all just cut people whenever you feel like cutting people.
Yeah, for the most part. There's gonna be more. Like, we know they do it at least twice a year, right? Yep. But who knows? They might do even more. You never know. Because sometimes it'll go 1 week, they'll cut a certain amount of people, and they'll be like, you know what, we're going to cut some more, and then they cut even more people.
Didn't they also just buy a wrestling company just now, a couple weeks ago?
Oh, yeah, you call that a wrestling company, but yeah, AAA.
Yeah, I mean, they bought a company.
They bought something.
They bought a company that happens to put wrestling events on in Mexico.
Yeah, and, half the dudes are like 60 and Vikingo.
Yeah.
So, it's just NXT Mexico now. We'll just call it that.
They're able to do that, but they can't pay the talent to end their contracts up until the contract's over. Mm-hmm. You have to fire them all, and then give out like bullshit excuses saying like a lot of the people weren't working hard in training, and that's the reason why you cut a lot of people in NXT,
which we know is a crock of shit.
We know that's bullshit. People getting body shamed. All right, whatever. Yeah. WWE, we see what you're doing. I know there are a lot of WWE fans that are still sitting down. And they're excited. They're still happy about their promotion. They're actively trying to ignore all the red flags that you guys are putting out. But we see you. We see exactly what you're doing. I personally can't stand for that shit.
It's not right, man. Like, it's just not right. But, people are real tribal about that shit, right? So, tribal to the point where they try to sabotage other people. Like the instance this week with Samantha Irving. Which is Ricochet's wife, right?
Yeah.
She put out her new music video, and it got shadow banned immediately because a bunch of WWE fans pissed that she left. Mind you, she didn't go to another company or anything. She just decided to work on herself.
Yeah, she wanted to work on music.
She wanted to work on her music, right? Now I hope she shows up in AEW to just shit on you guys. Mm-hmm. But you guys put in a bunch of reports and things like that to YouTube to where her video will not show up if people look for it, which is bullshit. Like, get a life, guys.
It's so dumb. Like, I see a lot of people doing like this weird tribalism back and forth. I've had experiences like this the last couple weeks with weird WWE fans.
Yeah.
Like there was a dude who I've seen this a lot lately, where they'll be talking a lot about like political stuff, right? They'll heavily lean one way, the non-WWE way. They'll lean that way. They'll lean left, right? They'll do all this shit, and then randomly under like an AEW thing, they'll be like, "Oh, this is where all the strippers go when they're retired from stripping." It's like, who the fuck what are you doing? Like, I've been looking through some of these accounts. They don't talk about wrestling at all, but they'll randomly shit on AEW every once in a while. Bots.
Yeah, they're bots.
Like, it's just weird. And there's like this really weird both sides thing happening right now. Like, there are weirdo AEW fans. Don't get me wrong. I also got onto them earlier this week. Mm-hmm. But the amount of weird WWE fans that I see in comparison to weird AEW fans is like night and day. Like, it's just a lot of WWE fans online are the weirdest people I think I've ever seen online. And we play games. So we see what people in gaming have to say, and those people are fucking weirdos.
Psychopaths for the most part.
Yeah. You got any thoughts on I guess you have any thoughts on like the releases or WWE or anything like that as a whole?
Yeah, just as a whole, like, it sucks for everybody that lost their job. I hope they land somewhere, eventually land somewhere. And I hope, and this is for like all the NXT guys, right? I hope all of you guys take a chance on yourself. I hope all of you guys don't sit back and just try to wait and hope and pray WWE calls you again. Don't do that. Reinvent yourself. Get out there, hit that indie grind, and, actually experience actual pro wrestling. Because WWE ain't pro wrestling. Everything outside of it is. So, and then for, your main roster guys, good luck. Hope you guys do the same, but, wherever you wind up, hey, cool.
So some of them might have been talking shit about AEW before, but they're really happy AEW exists now, probably, huh?
Oh yeah, no. Like like Shotzi's probably really happy they exist now, but she ain't passing the Chris Statlander test. I'll tell you that right now.
Don't sign any of them.
That's what I'm saying. One off, she ain't passing the Chris Statlander test. But yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right then, Proffitt. I think it's time for us to finally do our AEW Dynamite and Collision overview.
Yeah, you know what? Dynamite was pretty decent this week. It was it was a good show all around. Right. It was I don't know, 7.5, 8 show.
It was all right. Yeah,
it was pretty good. But man, starting out though, the first actual match that we had on the show was Kenny Omega, Mark Briscoe, Jet Speed, which is Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, versus Okada, Ricochet, and the Young Bucks. Man, this was a really fun match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like starting off, people were kind of going crazy because the first two people in the ring were Omega and Okada. And everybody was like, oh, they locked up. Oh, yeah, shit. Even I was like, oh man, we about to get something. And Okada was like, nope. He tags out to Matt Jackson. Oh no. Damn, I always get them confused. I think it was Nick Jackson. One of the Jacksons.
Okay, I can explain to you the difference to make it easy.
One's bigger and one's smaller.
No, they're kind of like the same size now. A little bit.
Not really. No, one's bigger.
Matt has always been like a little bit more muscle toned, but they're both kind of ripped right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it like this: Nick is the flippy one who tried to do the gritty last week with Swerve.
Yeah, so was Matt. He tagged Matt.
Mm.
So backs out and he tags Matt Jackson, and Omega, he was about to tag Speedball, and before he could even get there, they jumped Omega and then knocked everybody off the apron, and they started to go into work with Omega. And they kept doing the little arm breakers thing where, they would beat up Omega and then take him over to Matt Jackson, and he would do the little arm breaker, tag out to the next person, beat up Omega again, and then he would keep doing the arm breaker. Eventually got to Ricochet. Well, they did it once, but the second time, Omega reversed and put Ricochet's arm into Matt Jackson's hand. And Matt Jackson started doing the arm breaker, and Nick was like, no, Okada was outside the ring saying, stop, that's Ricochet. And Nick was telling him too, and then eventually Ricochet pushed him, and he was like, he felt his head, and he was like, oh shit, it's Ricochet.
You could tell.
He felt that he was bald. Haters. So, later on, Bailey and Kevin Knight working like a well-oiled machine. They're beating up on Ricochet. Briscoe ran in the ring. He hit Matt Jackson with a big old pump kick. And Briscoe and Bailey, they did the thing where they were standing side by side doing the fucking crane kick from Karate Kid. And, they did that to the Bucks. I'm going to get to later in the match because I took a lot of notes on this shit.
It was a good match.
It was a damn good match. Let's see. So later on in the match, Matt Jackson, he hit Kenny Omega with a giant DDT. But Kenny Omega, he just jumped up. He popped right up. And he did slam Ricochet's head into the mat. He just kind of face planted. And then Briscoe started going to work. He started going to work on Okada. And he hit him with the Fisherman Buster. Got one near fall. Okada retaliates with the neck breaker on Briscoe. And Okada hits the elbow drop on the top from the top rope. And while that's happening, Kevin Knight does that backflip and he does the kick thing and hits both of the Young Bucks. Okada hits Briscoe with that beautiful drop kick that Okada has. Like, that's one of the best drop kicks in the game. The only one that's close right now is Kevin Knight that can get a drop kick that good. And then a little bit after this, Okada and Omega have a stare down in the center of the ring, and they give the people what they want. They start hitting each other, and so Okada, he got hit by the Snapdragon suplex from Omega. Omega, he was going to go for the V trigger, and Okada interrupted with his drop kick. Again with that badass drop kick. The hell, man. So we go a little bit on in the match. Briscoe, he avoids the BTE trigger, and then he hits Okada with the J Driller, and starts pinning Okada. Ricochet jumps in, he knocks him out. He's like, oh no, he stops him from pinning him. Omega at this time, he does the Terminator dive since all these people are outside the ring. Briscoe hits that dope ass Death Valley driver on Okada. Ricochet saves them again. He pushes Mark Briscoe because Mark Briscoe gets on the top rope. Ricochet pushes him off. Okada hits the Rainmaker, pins Briscoe, and the Elite plus Ricochet live to see another day, and they win. What'd you think about that match, man?
This was definitely PWG coded. I didn't get to watch like the golden era of PWG. I had to watch it. I had to watch like random clips and matches later. I got to watch PWG eventually. This was as PWG as I can remember. I love every second of this match. Also, we finally got Okada and Omega in the same ring at the same time in the same match.
Yep.
Oh man, it's just we're getting ready. We're getting ready for that singles match. They're building up early. Yep. I cannot wait to see what happens. Also, go ahead and just put Ricochet in the Elite.
Yeah, you might as well. He fits so well.
He's such a perfect fit. The fact that the two times that Matthew was using his hair as Ricochet's hair was just hilarious. A1. I'm gonna use time to also say how much I missed the Bucks. I'm happy that they're back. But overall, I really enjoyed the entire match. Probably my favorite part, but actually probably one of my favorite parts of the entire week, if I'm gonna be honest, from AEW.
Yeah, this match was fun. It was real fun. This was one of my favorite times, but one of my other favorite ones was on Collision. And that's big boys hitting each other. So yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
That could have been the main event. I would have been happy. Shit. Next up, we go backstage. We're backstage. We have the Hurt Syndicate walking through, and then there was a bunch of idiots chanting "We hurt people" to them backstage. They're like, "Yeah, we hurt people," and they're like, what's better than saying we hurt people? Actually hurting people. And then they beat the shit out of I think it was like 7 guys that they beat the crap out of. And after they were done, MVP was looking at the thing. He's like, man, I broke my cane. And, they started talking about MJF. And, Shelton, he was like, hey, he was skeptical about MJF, but he trusts MVP. And, MVP's like, yeah, you know what? He could be beneficial to us. But he laid it out right there. He's like, if MJF screws them over, they will hurt him like he's never been hurt before. And MVP was smiling when he said that. And then Lashley was like, yeah, he just wants to hurt MJF anyway.
I want him to hurt MJF.
Man, when we get to that part, that part was so good.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then, they all fist bump at the end. And then next we go to the trios match, and, we got our World Trios champions, the Ops, Shibata, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs, going against names I haven't heard in forever. Like Rhett Titus? What?
Ring of Honor legend.
That guy's a legend in Ring of Honor. If you ever seen Rhett Titus wrestle in Ring of Honor, Do yourself a favor. He's been through like 50 gimmicks, dude. Like, watch Red. That guy's fun to watch.
He's such a good wrestler too.
Yeah, he's good. He actually, here's all right. Side convo here, or side thing here. He reminds me of what is that guy's name? He looks like Stevie Richards.
You know, I can see it. A lot better wrestler, but I can see it.
Oh yeah. Well, I like Stevie Richards. Stevie Richards was solid.
Even as a kid, I wasn't really a big Stevie Richards fan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he had his moments.
Yeah,
but he you know, I've watched his stuff, you know, his podcast and everything like that, and he knew where he was. He knew his place, right? And I think that's what I like about him. He wasn't like one of the guys that are like, yeah, I should have been world champion and stuff like that. He's like, I knew where I was. I knew where my place was in the fucking in everything.
Yeah, you know, I do respect that. Like there are a lot of people who just are not willing to understand where, I guess where they are placed. So, and as much as everyone wants to be a world champion, I guess you can't. It's not how that really works.
Yeah, that's not how it works, right?
Yeah.
Miles Hawkins, that's the first time for me seeing that guy. But Nick Camarado, the hell?
Apparently he was injured. So,
man,
yeah.
glad to see him back though, because that's a big guy, man. Like, get him back in ROH. Get him to get some things in there. Get back in there and he'd be a good guy to bring back in later on. But get him in ROH. Get him them reps again.
Hell yeah.
From being injured. He's got the look. So this was a short match, as you guys would have known. Look, it started off with Joe and Rhett Titus. Joe beat the living hell out of Rhett Titus. Rhett Titus, and then Joe tags Shibata. Shibata comes in. He's beating up Rhett Titus. Rhett Titus is like, I don't want any more of this shit. He tags Nick Camarado. Shibata and Nick Camarado's had a chopping battle. Eventually, Camarado was like, screw these chops, man. They ain't working, so you need them. And then they started fighting again, and, Shibata eventually kicks him. And Camarado tags out to Miles Hawkins, poor guy. Because then Shibata tagged in Powerhouse Hobbs. And Hobbs brought the meat. He beat the shit out of Miles Hawkins, man. And then he planted him through the ring with a spine buster, and that was it. The Ops win, if you didn't know already.
Light work.
It was light work. So as they got their titles and they were celebrating, the Death Riders come in and they start, they attacked Shibata first. Powerhouse Hobbs ran, what's his name out? Wheeler Yuta out, and eventually he got blindsided by what's his name? By Claudio. And Mox was in the ring. Him and Mox and Joe were fighting in the ring. And they rolled out of the ring and they were fighting on the ramp. Joe gets him in the rear naked choke. And, Moxley is pointing. You don't know what he's pointing to, right? They finally go to the ring and they show Claudio. He has Shibata in the neutralizer. And he does it on the chair like he did to Hook.
Yeah.
So, they all stopped and they all, the Ops ran back into the ring. And, Samoa Joe got on the mic and he's like, hey, he called out Mox. And he's like, hey, he pretty much called Mox a bitch, and he told him, hey, there's only one way we're going to solve this, and this is going to be in a steel cage. And, for Beach Break. So, later on, spoiler alert, later on, it is announced that Joe and Mox are going to be fighting in the steel cage.
Man, this was Samoa Joe escalated this feud very quickly.
Yeah.
But I guess at the same time, Death Riders did take out 2 of the Ops, right? So
yeah, I now what I don't know is, are they going to do the Freebird rule and Hook's going to stand in for Shibata now?
It depends on if Hook's actually hurt or not. Like I don't know. Like there haven't been reports, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, him throwing up in the ring was not. Hopefully it was just he just for whatever reason ate too much and was just doing that. But realistically, he might be out for a little bit. So
yeah, ain't too many potato chips, man.
Possibly, he do be on almost every promo. He do be eating them chips.
He had him some hot Cheetos. He forgot.
Yeah.
Don't eat those before doing any kind of workout. You'd be miserable.
Yep.
All right. So after this, Renee, she interviewed Mercedes Moné. You know, Mercedes pretty much breaks it down. She's like, hey, she's the global champion. She got championships from everywhere. And the Owen Hart Cup is her legacy. And that she's 25-0 in singles competition. And she's beaten, and with that 25-0, she's beaten the best all over the globe. You know, she, pretty much talking, hey, every time she steps in the ring, she changes the game. And then she makes fun of Jamie Hayter for looking like she's from Scooby-Doo.
That Daphne look.
Yeah.
Also, Mercedes, I'm sorry to, correct you, Mercedes. You're actually 27-2. You lost 2 tag matches. You said singles competition, sure. Yeah, you're undefeated. Yeah, you're undefeated in singles competition. Yeah. Blah blah blah. You lost 2 matches though. I mean, you didn't get pinned. It was Harley, but just still
Harley.
L's.
Harley took the L for you, so it doesn't count. If she retired today, she retired undefeated.
Like Goldberg, huh?
Yep. No. Kevin, Hot Scott Hall and Kevin Nash made sure he didn't retire.
He 98-0 after having 37 matches. Goldberg, I see you.
So after this, we had another one with Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette, she ran from Mercedes Moné to the Nick Wayne and the Patriarchy. And they were about to talk, and immediately Jay Lethal interrupted. And he said he was there to see Nick Wayne, not Christian Cage. And he was like, hey, you're young. You still got a lot to prove, but why don't you prove something tonight? And, Nick Wayne was trying to brush it off, trying to take the easy street back to the Super Juniors. And he's like, no, I'm not really warmed up yet. And then Christian Cage goes, he accepts. He immediately forced him in that match.
Christian wants him to lose so bad.
Yeah, he does. He wants him to lose so bad. And so that leads us to our next thing, the AEW World Title Eliminator match between Toni Storm and Miyu Yamashita. All right. So, man, this was a fun match. Really fun match between Toni and Miyu. But yeah, starting off, Miyu hit a ton of kicks, like right in the beginning. And Toni Storm, ran, she did the Luthez press and started wailing on Miyu, did Snapdragon suplex. But that didn't really start Miyu. She started going to town on Toni Storm in this match. She did a lot of kicks. She kicked Toni Storm in the face, and then when she was going for another kick, she grabbed her leg, and then it led to Toni Storm trying to do the hip attack to Miyu. Toni kind of got caught, not really got caught, but she kind of got caught in the turnbuckle with her butt sticking out. And Miyu literally started kicking her ass.
Literally.
literally started kicking her ass. And then, they got back into the ring. And Luther got in the way. And Luther almost met his maker after that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they got back in the ring and they started going at it again. Lots of strikes in this match, but, Toni Storm started, getting in there. She hit the German suplex. Miyu hit another kick to the head for, she got a near fall on that. Toni hit Miyu with the sky high. And then, Toni Storm, she hit Miyu with the hip attack at the end and finished with the Storm Zero for the 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. So, pretty crazy match. It was actually pretty fun. What did you think, man?
I love Miyu Yamashita. Is quickly AEW, so they have to outsource. So that we're going. I'm thinking far in the future now. 3 months. She's definitely losing to whoever's winning at All In, and I assume it's going to be Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm at All In at this point.
Yeah, it's possible. Mm-hmm. Or it could be Mercedes. Who knows? But probably not Mercedes.
AEW. I know that I got on them about the Swerve and Hangman stuff because there was no like thing that we needed. There was nothing that was being said, and it's the same thing with Athena and Mercedes. There's really nothing being said. Like right now, it seems like one and done. Right? Athena hasn't even been on AEW TV since that loss. But if we don't get Athena versus Mercedes for the TBS Championship at All In, I'm not going. Yep. I will sell my ticket to somebody and I will sit it out and I'll watch it at home.
All right.
Don't quote me on that. That's not gonna happen. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did not believe it. So, like, after the match, Mercedes does come out. She, she says that after she beats Jamie Hayter in Double or Nothing, she's coming for the AEW Championship. And Toni Storm came. Oh, not Toni. Jesus Christ. Jamie Hayter came out, hit Mercedes in the face, and Mercedes ran away. And she dropped a couple of her belts too. And yeah, so that was the end of that. So right after this, we had a segment of Don Callis, of the Don Callis family. They talked about the match where they beat Ospreay and Briscoe. No, Ospreay and big guy. Man, my brain is shut off today.
Brody King
in the last week. And that after Kyle Fletcher beats Hangman, that they can finally close the chapter and beat Ospreay. And and so at the end, Fletcher was like, hey, like after I beat, do this and I beat Ospreay, you guys can finally say my full name. And Don Callis says it, and Don Callis gets a little bit too enthusiastic with it, which is pretty hilarious. And yeah, that was, I thought it was a fun segment between them, but we're going to one of the big segments of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hurt Syndicate comes out to the ring, and MVP, of course, he's like, hey, the official announcement, we're discussing adding the fourth member to our ranks, and he talks about the rules. In order for somebody to get into the ranks of the Hurt Syndicate, everybody has to have it has to be unanimous, thumbs up. So they're going to try it one more time, and then he invited MJF to the ring. He tries to butter up Shelton Benjamin, and then he's kind of negative towards Bobby Lashley. And MVP's like, all right, let's get to it. Let's vote. So MVP voted, he gave him the thumbs up. Shelton gave the thumbs up, and then at the very last one, which was Bobby Lashley, he looked like he was going down. He looked like he was going up. But Lashley did the thumbs down. And MJF was like, you know what? I'm sick of your, he's like, I'm sick of your shit. And he's like, he talks about what would intrigue him with, like Rogaine. He goes to insulting Bobby Lashley. And MVP and Shelton Benjamin were like, oh shit. They started leaving the ring. And Bobby Lashley in a millisecond, he dropped that belt and he charged MJF and he hemmed him up against the rope. And I think for sure MJF was scared for his life.
He should have been.
Because Lashley was serious. He's like, hey, you want to impress me? You want to get this thumbs up? It hurts somebody. He's like, I don't want the cars. I don't want any of that shit. He's like, we hurt people. So you want to impress me? Hurt somebody. And, eventually Shelton and the MVP pull him off, and they start walking to the back. And then right when it looked like MJF was going to try to talk shit again, Bobby Lashley looked back and was about to charge the ring again. Luckily, MVP and Shelton were there to hold him back, because if they weren't, MJF would be a stain right now.
that motherfucker is MJF has lost his damn mind.
Yeah.
Well, this has kind of been like how it's been happening every week, right? Like he'll be really happy. He'll be really happy towards MVP because they've known each other for a long time, right? Shelton, he's been kind of nice to Shelton this entire time too, in a way. But he's always been like real, like he's had this real negative energy towards Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Even called him like Bob and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait to see MJF get his ass beat by Bobby Lashley. Because MJF's been real disrespectful. Also, you already said it, but I just want to like reiterate how insane MJF was. He said, I am sick of your shit, and he talked mad shit about Bobby Lashley to his face, and then looked like he pissed himself once Bobby hemmed him up.
Yeah. Like when Bobby hemmed him up, I think it was a legit reaction. Like, oh, come on, man, let me go. I think he was legit scared. He was legit terrified. He didn't know if Bobby Lashley was acting or not.
Because here's the thing about Bobby Lashley. That motherfucker. Well, I think how many MMA fights did he lose? Like 1 or 2, maybe, by like decision.
I think he lost 1.
He lost 1. There you go. He was like 11 or 12-1. So
I think it's more than that.
Oh yeah, more than that. Bellator and stuff like that. But yeah, he has a crazy MMA record. Bobby, crazy MMA record. Just everything. Like Bobby Lashley is not one that you piss off. And look, even to me, I was like, oh shit, he might actually be pissed. Like, oh shit, he might actually be pissed. Because you know how MJF can be sometimes. Sometimes he just be talking and like, I don't know if people like okay with it or not. I don't know what happens with MJF sometimes, but he just be running his mouth sometimes. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was really scared. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Lashley was really mad.
Look, the veins on his head were all popping out, man.
Yeah, that's not acting. You can't look. I don't care how good of an actor you are. You can't. Those veins on the top of your head and the veins on your neck, you can't make those come out while you're acting unless you are fucking an S tier actor. And no offense to Bobby Lashley, I don't think he is.
Look. He had the Nappa fucking vein popping out of his head, man. He was looking like Nappa.
I get it. Like think of Bobby's situation, right? Like Bobby Lashley comes from WWE, where to an extent up until like the pandemic, he was very respected, right? Former world champion, former WWE champion, had a crazy run during the pandemic as the Almighty, had to pick the litter to do whatever he wanted, and then comes with MJF, and then MJF maybe is talking shit, maybe not, maybe this wasn't clear, maybe this is, because MJF can run his mouth. I can see how you get a little bit mad.
Oh, yeah, but Lashley was also the one that said, hey, he said to Karrion Kross, he's like, hey, how about we like fight for real and just like, until people break us up in the back to, make our thing look more realistic. He's also that guy too.
That was a thing. That was a thing too.
Karrion Kross is like, well, what if there's nobody to break us up? He's like, oh yeah, huh?
Bobby Lashley, I'm not doing that. You look, you are not. I'm not gonna agree to you. I'm a physical, actual fight with you. No, are you insane?
Are you fucking crazy?
I'm not doing that. That's like me challenging Shelton to amateur wrestle. Did I wrestle in high school? Yes. Was I good? Kinda. I'm not Shelton Benjamin. Who the fuck? No.
No. Hell no. No one agrees to that.
That's an insane person. They were doing that in the backstage. Like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Shelton, I can wrestle you," and Shelton beating all their asses.
Oh yeah, like CM Punk.
People 100 bigger than him, he was taken down in the back. No,
he was in college wrestling. He was Brock Lesnar's training partner. Okay, like Shelton Benjamin was. So,
training partner.
Wrestling for like 3 hours a day. Against that, because a lot of times in wrestling, you wrestle against the same person every day.
Especially during fucking practice.
Yeah. So he's wrestling Brock Lesnar 3 hours a day and can either sometimes beat him and sometimes get a draw, or other times he would lose. But look, the point is sometimes he beats him or gets a draw. What makes you think you're going to out wrestle Shelton Benjamin?
I mean, look, if you hear the stories from Shelton's saying that Lesnar used to cheat. So I don't know. Look, I tend to believe Shelton Benjamin. I'm not gonna hold you. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna get in a situation where I'm gonna let Lashley really be mad at me. No, I don't know how that road's gonna lead. I can fight, but I cannot fight Bobby Lashley.
Fuck that.
No, hell no.
That is too much. Look, it's one thing if they're untrained, but if somebody untrained, he's like 250, 275 pounds or whatever.
Yes.
An untrained 250, 275 pound person, you could probably get lucky and knock them out.
More than likely. If they don't know how to fight, yeah, for sure.
If they don't know how to fight, you could probably get lucky and just crack them and knock them out.
No, if you know how to fight, you can beat people big. Trust me. That's what boxing taught me.
But if they're trained, you ain't got a snowball chance in hell.
God, no. No.
Look, his primary thing was he was a wrestler before. Like, he was wrestling for the Army, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was a wrestler, before, training MMA and all that other stuff. So he has a wrestling base. And what I like to tell people about, what the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that stuff is, wrestling is the art of manhandling somebody.
Yep.
You know who wins in wrestling? The guy that can manhandle the other guy the best. And then pin them.
A lot of the viral clips that go around are amateur wrestlers turning their opponents into pretzels. Like, that one guy that tucked his opponent's head into his own crotch and fucking like bent his legs back. He looked like a literal pretzel from like a year ago.
Yeah.
That's amateur wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is nasty. And Greco-Roman's even nastier. So, like, look. So you got... There ain't no way in hell I'm going to fight a trained 275-pound guy that is strong as shit, also has an MMA background, so fuck that. There's no way.
But...
You're not going to win.
But 100 men can beat a gorilla. we can move on. We're not gonna touch on it.
We ain't gonna talk about that. The first 10 men get killed. The next 90 men run away. They're not gonna try.
I have a plan, and I know the plan would work. And for me to be a part of the 100 to have the plan, because I have the plan, I have to be number 100.
Yeah, let 99 die, and then like I don't know, when it's tired, poke them in the eye, and they'll like try to fight them.
I'm pretty sure even like a tired gorilla can still like slam, because they can take a lot of weight.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say this, okay? A gorilla has 4 times a human's bone density. Think about that.
They also got that sweet spot. Look, you get one person that's brave enough and has the capacity to throw a proper like hook. You hit that gorilla in the jaw, give it a concussion. You're good. You're good.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, God. You almost sounded like that guy that was like, the jiu-jitsu guy's like, yeah, I'm going to take it down and I'll put him in the armbar. I'm like, you're 145 pounds, dude.
Yeah, you're not putting a gorilla in an armbar. You have a better chance of, like I said, hitting the sweet spot on the gorilla, hitting it right in the chin and doing something. You have a better chance like that instead of, you are not going to wrestle down a gorilla. It's not going to happen. Bobby Lashley couldn't do it. You can't either. You're not gonna. We think the girl's gonna tap out. Is that what you think is gonna happen? If you can even get the gorilla in the armbar to begin with, you think it's gonna tap? Is that what you think is gonna happen?
It has 4 times a human's bone density.
It's just gonna pick you up.
It's just gonna toss you. You can't break his arm. It's all muscle. So good luck. And then if it tosses you around and rips your leg off, because they can, right? Like gorilla can lift up to, I think they said 4 tons or something like that.
Yeah, something stupid, something ridiculous,
something retarded. So, what do you think is going to happen? Your little 145-pound ass is going to try to armbar a gorilla, and the gorilla is going to be like, "What is this flea on me?" And then he's going to fling you, or like that's the best case scenario. He flings you, right?
Yeah, that's delusional. Like that. When I've heard the plans, and my plan's the best plan. But if I've heard the plans, like some people are like, I'm going to take 25 people and I'm going to hold this arm, 25 will hold this arm. No, like
that first wave is dead.
And they're talking about like average men. Like the average man does not go to the gym. The average man can't even do 10 push-ups.
Yeah, the average man. Yeah, no, average man can't do 10 push-ups. He can only do fucking sit-ups. The so-called average man is between like 145 and 160 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're going against a 400-pound gorilla. You're all going to charge at it and try to hold it down. A thing that can fucking lift 4 tons. Yeah, good luck.
You know what you need? You need like, again, my plan is foolproof, Profit. You take like 15 people from like my 600-pound life, you put them at the front.
Lord. Yeah, let them get torn apart first.
The gorilla's gonna have to take some time, and you got 85 other people to like swarm around, and one of y'all is gonna be able to throw a hook and hit that sweet spot right in the chin and daze the gorilla for a little bit to end it. Out of 85 people, there should be at least one that's competent enough to throw a hook. You're not gonna be able to do a straighter jab. It has to be like one of those like wound up hooks, like like the cartoony ones where they're like spinning their arm real hard to get more traction to like hit. You got to do that. It's the only way you're gonna be able to do it.
God.
But yeah, MGF.
Lord, what a subject.
I don't even know where it came from, but
yeah, no, I don't know. It's probably like a group of Bradley Martins going, yeah, I could fuck up a gorilla, and it's like, no, you can't.
Let people live in the illusion is fun. Like I've said it. We've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure I can fuck up a cassowary. Pretty sure.
What?
A cassowary. We talk. You were there when we talked about this before a long time ago. There was a conversation where we could talk. We'll pull up later on the podcast. But a cassowary is like a big bird, right? That has like claws and stuff like that. Very violent. I can fuck up a cassowary.
Wait a minute, I know what that thing. Oh God.
Yeah.
Are we really doing this?
We talked about this. No one else believes in me. I believe in me. I can do it.
Well, you don't have the restriction of just using your hands, so you're good.
All I need are lefty and righty. That's all I need. I don't need anything else.
So you're gonna walk up to this bird. You'd be like, "Yeah, fuck you, bird," and just hit him with a quick combination and KO him.
I don't know about KO. It's probably gonna be a few rounds for sure, but I can beat the bird.
Oh God. Oh. Oh, the God, that hurts my head.
This was a topic before, and no one look. I believe in me, and that's all that matters to me. I don't care.
Hey, that's all it takes, man.
All you look. What did Pop say from Friday? You win some, you lose some.
In this case, when you lose, you get cut in half. So
nah. You live to fight another day. It's fine.
You're going with a bulletproof vest or something, right?
No. All me.
No. Oh, I'm dead.
I don't even know how we got here from Bobby Lashley, but it works.
Well, it's kind of similar. Can MJF beat Bobby Lashley? Nope.
100 men versus Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley's winning. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'll take Bobby Lashley. I'm not gonna hold you either.
Oh, man. Okay, so back to the show. Now, next up, we have the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. The Patriarchy's Nick Wayne versus Jay Lethal. I was glad to see Jay Lethal in the ring again. I keep hearing people talk shit about Jay Lethal. Fuck them. Jay Lethal is the shit. I don't care what any of y'all say. And it was funny seeing people go, he was the longest reigning Ring of Honor TV champion? I chimed in on a few people and said, yeah, if you go to Ring of Honor Club and look at that 2-year reign he had as undefeated Ring of Honor television champion that led up to him going against Jay Briscoe. And this was
probably one of my favorite title runs of all time, to be honest. That Jay Lethal run in Ring of Honor, fantastic, top to bottom. Yeah, and
that was House of Truth Jay Lethal, so that was a different animal.
Yeah, I think people might not know how much of a beast Jay Lethal was. Low key still is. He just doesn't get a chance to wrestle as much as he used to, but Jay Lethal was a beast.
Yeah, man. Like during that time, like House of Truth Jay Lethal, you ain't messing with it. But yeah, man. Like so. Just to get that out the way, if you guys have not watched that, like have seen any of that, do yourself a favor, watch that. That is a good watch. His long ass reign as TV champion is a good watch all the way. Even the lead up all the way to him and Jay Briscoe going at it, and how he had to fight Jay Briscoe like 3 times in order to beat him. But yeah, it was good stuff. So the match starts out Lethal, chopping the shit out of Nick Wayne. And him and Nick Wayne were trading, they were always doing a little chain wrestling here. Arm drag from Lethal. There was some from Nick Wayne. Lethal hits a drop kick. And, and Lethal, he got the upper hand, hit Nick Wayne with the tope. And then Nick Wayne, he came back, hit that Hurricanrana on the, from the apron to the floor. And, later on in the match, Lethal hit that lethal combination. It was like one of the sickest things ever. Got a near fall. He tried to do the elbow. Nick Wayne baited him. He did the cradle on Jay Lethal, got the 2 count. And then Nick Wayne did another transition from that to a schoolboy to get a near fall. And then Nick Wayne hit a roundhouse kick and then did that badass inverted fisherman buster and pinned Jay Lethal for the 1-2-3 with no help from the Patriarchy at all.
I like he calls it the Progiplex.
Yeah.
Perfect name.
Yeah. That move's sick. I fucking love it. And so what did you think about this match, man?
I really enjoyed this match, mainly because it was nice to see Jay Lethal wrestling again. And we got another nice little win before Nick Wayne goes to Best of Super Juniors. where
Mm-hmm.
I fully expect him to kill it over there. I feel like Nick Wayne is going to do so good over there right now.
Yeah.
I do wonder. They even asked us on commentary. I wonder if Mother Wayne, his mom's going to go with them. I don't know.
Oh no.
But if they're leaving, they should be leaving pretty soon. I think Best of Super Junior starts next week. I think.
Okay.
And the sad part about that is we're not getting live commentary for the entire thing.
Really?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes, it's not fun. But yeah, we'll at least be able to enjoy it still. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think we get live for day 1, I believe, and then everything else is going to be, at least in English, is going to be tape delay. So I will be watching in Japanese this time around.
Okay. So we have the main event of Dynamite, the Proto Star, Kyle Fletcher, with, of course, Don Callis and Lance Archer versus the Hangman, Adam Page. Man, let me just say right away, it's probably like one of my favorite matches of the night. Fletcher and Adam Page went to war in this match.
Mm-hmm.
You could really feel that it was like, hey, this is the semis and we're fighting to get to the finals. This was a war, man. But yeah, man, like in the beginning of it, Page, he hit Fletcher so hard with a choppy. Fletcher like fell down. Hangman was not playing. And he got Fletcher in the corner and started clubbing Fletcher. Even Don Callis is like, well, we don't want to get in a clubbing battle with Adam Page because we're for sure going to lose. And then, after that, Hangman, knocks Fletcher outside the ring with a clothesline. And, they do some things on the outside. They get back in the ring. Hangman, he hits that sliding lariat that he does. And then he hit Kyle Fletcher with the Death Valley Driver. As you see here, it was a lot of Hangman offense in the beginning. Hangman was like literally trying to kill Kyle Fletcher. Even after that, he like tossed Kyle Fletcher like a sack of shit with the fallaway slam. He just like almost tossed him out of the ring, man. That's how far he tossed him.
Mm-hmm.
After this, there was at one point where Kyle Fletcher, he started rallying back. He got Hangman in the corner, and he does what Kyle Fletcher does. He does all them kicks, man. He starts running and just going full speed, kicking people in the head. And that's what he did. And, at one point, Hangman, they both got to the top. Hangman hits Fletcher with the superplex. Kyle Fletcher, he comes back with the half and half suplex. And then Hangman, he comes back and he power bombs Kyle Fletcher and gets the closest to 3 that you can get before Fletcher kicks out. So right after that, Hangman's like, he's trying to finish it. He hits Fletcher with the Deadeye. And Fletcher, he survived that. He kicked out. When Hangman tried to do a moonsault, Fletcher raised his knees. Hangman, he hit the knees. And after, a little bit after that, Hangman went on the outside. He hit Fletcher. He went on the outside. He was getting ready to hit the buckshot lariat. And Fletcher, being smart, got close to him so he couldn't hit it. And and then they got out on the apron. Hangman hit Kyle Fletcher with the Deadeye again on the apron. That's 2 Deadeyes. So, and he also hit, the moonsault. He hit the moonsault. They get back in the ring. Fletcher distracts the ref, hits the low blow, hits that amazing looking brainbuster. I don't know. He has one of the best brainbusters I've seen. Page kicks out, and they both get on the top rope. Page knocks down Kyle Fletcher, and out of nowhere, being the most crafty Hangman Page he can be, he flips over he's on the top rope. You guys can imagine, he's sitting there on the top rope. He flips over and does the buckshot lariat from the top rope to Kyle Fletcher. And then he runs outside the ring, and then he hits him with another buckshot lariat. And then he pins Kyle Fletcher for the 1-2-3. And that's the end of that match. Hangman Adam Page is in the finals. So the finals is Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page.
Man, Jesus Christ.
What did you think about that match, man?
I'm gonna do 2 thoughts really quick before we get into like my actual thoughts. First one is so I saw this on Blue Sky, and so Eagle Eye, I don't remember who said it, but Eagle Eyed. Do you know who the first person was to do that that off the top rope buckshot like that?
No.
It was Swerve to Hangman in the triple threat at Revolution last year.
No shit.
Yeah, no, bro. I saw the clip. I was like, oh, shit. So Hangman out here using Swerve's moves. Another thing that I saw, we don't have to touch on this too much because I don't even know if you saw this or not. But I guess on Blue Sky, someone put up the clip of Hangman on the ground and Kyle Fletcher like kind of like riding him like a horse or whatever, right? You know, at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but I think a lot of people mistook AEW for WWE, and a lot of left-leaning people got real mad. It's like, oh, you can do this, but you can't. You want to be anti-DEI, blah, blah. I was like, holy shit. It was, I don't know if everyone saw it because it was like contained in like one thread, but I happened to see the thread, and I was like, these people are fucking losing it over this spot. Like, it was insane.
Ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. But neither here nor there. The match was fantastic. I really enjoyed the match. I know all of us have kind of been thinking that Ospreay was just like the favorite, right? Because at this point, what else does Ospreay have to do, right? Like, Ospreay doesn't have anything. We talked about this last week too, actually. Yeah. Can I be honest? And I'm gonna sound crazy by saying this. I want Hangman versus Moxley. The story's all there already. Yeah. The only thing that like kind of gets me is because Hangman can have other stuff to do. He already has like the stuff with the Elite, the stuff with Swerve, all kind of planned out. Like they can move that way whenever they want, right? Right. Ospreay has nothing planned right now outside of this. Yeah, yeah. Like, what, you're gonna redo the Don Callis family feud again? No, you can't do that. Those are the only people who's really been wrestling lately. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else you could do with Ospreay right now. Like, you have to. I mean, there's always stuff to do, right? But you have to make up another story. At least Hangman has like something already like built. Yeah. But even with that, I think I would still prefer Hangman versus Moxley over Ospreay versus Moxley. Personally, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I can see it because like even last week I even suggested Fletcher going all the way, right? Yeah. And Moxley and crew, like the Death Riders, having to deal with that Don Callis family. The Death Riders would lose. There's no way they could deal with the Don Callis family. Mm-hmm. But having Hangman go against them, kind of anti-heroing it and just like fighting against the odds, the shit writes itself.
It's right there. It's very easy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it definitely feels like a layup for Ospreay right now, right? And we even talked about that. Like, the second the brackets came out, like one of the first things we said was the men's side is very predictable, mm-hmm. right? Yeah. I think they should switch that up. I think it should be, and they can find something for Ospreay to do for sure, but I think it should be Hangman versus Moxley. But the thing is, Hangman has to win. Like, the sentiment still stands. If Moxley walks out of All In world champion, the world and the internet might collapse. Because we've kind of, everyone has kind of like softened on the Death Rider story now, right? Like, everyone is a lot softer on it. It's been a lot better when you have like Cope, Swerve, Samoa Joe involved, right? Right. But if we pass All In, he might hit a year as world champion. And let's not forget, the first half of this reign was god awful. So, I mean, no matter who wins the Owen, they should be world champion coming out of All In. And if we really are doing the thing where we're waiting for Darby, that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. We should not be waiting for Darby Allin.
No.
He won't be back for another 3 months.
I mean, that would put him on time to like get a story going for Wrestle Dream, right? In Washington.
That's cool, but it shouldn't be for the title.
No. That would also mark Moxley, almost guarantee us having Moxley be world champion for a year. And more than that, not seeing the AEW World Championship on TV in a year. Yeah. We're already like, what, 6, 7, 8 months without seeing that title now? Mm-hmm. Just not a good call. Like, I know everyone's kind of softened up on the third story, and I get it. It's been a lot better now. The problem is still we're not seeing the title. So this has to end. And we still have like a couple months until All In. I mean, if Joe wins it, that'd be dope. It's probably not going to happen. But if Joe were to win it, that would be fantastic also. solve all of our problems.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
It's not. We know it. I know it. You know it. The world knows it. You have any thoughts on Dynamite overall before we move on to Collision?
No, it was a fun Dynamite. It was a pretty fun Dynamite. I enjoyed it.
All right. Then we are going to move on to Collision. We start with Adam Cole's music, and we find out a little bit later, a couple minutes later, that Adam Cole is going to be on commentary for the entire night. A good way to get your TNT champion somehow on TV. I'll take it. Also, he was acting like Chugs and not Adam Cole on commentary, which was amazing. Like, he is a wrestling nerd, which is great. He was a fantastic commentator too, by the way. Like, he has a career after he is done wrestling. But our first match that we start with is we have another AEW World Championship Eliminator with Toni Storm versus Lady Frost. They heard us. They heard you. We wanted her back, and she's back.
Yep.
Although she did lose to Toni Storm. Very good match though. Yeah, I mean, it was a very good match. Toni did win. After the match, Toni Storm takes the microphone, and she does a very classic timeless Toni Storm promo, where she's calling out, like, she wants next. She wants to figure out who is next. Also, she did the tagline, which took Blue Sky by storm. I'm here, I'm queer, and she said something else about being world champion. And Blue Sky was very happy about that. I didn't really get the chance to take notes too much this week, but that is the match. Proffitt, what are your thoughts?
I think it was a fun match, and Toni Storm did her Toni Storm thing. So
Yeah, we knew it was gonna happen. Next up, we get a backstage promo segment from Jon Moxley, our AEW World Champion, we have not seen the title from in a very long time. Moxley talks about Samoa Joe and the ops and everyone around him dropping like flies. Moxley also, in a very swerve-like manner, said it was very hard to find a way to dislike Joe. Like, his reputation is beyond reproach, sort of like Bryan Danielson. I wonder. But he also went on to say, like, this is what you want, Steel Cage? Like, this is what you want to do? Like, yeah, we can do this, but you're going to be like everyone else. Everyone else also said that they were going to be able to take my title, but they couldn't. So you just be ready, because you're going to suffer. I mean, that's all that promo was. Right after this, we had another 100K high-speed collision 4-way. Tony Khan just giving out money, apparently. We had AR Fox versus Kevin Knight versus Roosh versus Sammy Guevara. Very, very surprising. It was nice to see Sammy also again, after not seeing him only on Ring of Honor for a little while.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened in this match. This was very chaotic. It was very much a 4-way. They were having a lot of fun. Everyone was moving around everywhere. Everyone got their little spots. The thing that I was most interested though in was Roosh and Kevin Knight kind of like brawling to the back, and they kind of were like a little stiff on each other. If Kevin Knight wasn't leaving, I would love to see that feud. I know Kevin Knight is kind of busy with with jet balls and and what's going on with him and the Elite and stuff like that, but it would be nice to see Kevin Knight kind of and Roosh do their own thing. But again, Kevin Knight's going to be gone pretty soon, so we'll see him in a month. But yeah, funny thing, Guevara was able to hit the go to sleep on AR Fox, and they were the last two because Roosh and Kevin Knight brawled to the back, so it became a one-on-one match.
Right.
Sammy hits the go to sleep, or GTH, I think actually it's a go to hell or whatever.
Yeah, the flipping one.
Yeah, and he wins the 100K for his family.
Oh, nice.
He's excited. He gets on the turnbuckle, and then he points at Adam Cole. And Adam Cole, again, he's at commentary the entire night, and Adam Cole's like, "You want me, bro? You just got 100K. You want me? All right, whatever. I guess. Go back to Ring of Honor. You can't do this right now." You have any thoughts on the 100K high-speed collision 4-way?
No, it was fun, man. It was fun. At first, I thought it was going to be Roosh winning until they fought to the back.
I did too.
Like,
as soon as I saw Roosh's music, because I didn't see the graphic before. As soon as I heard Roosh's music, like Roosh win the 100K. Well, I'm actually kind of happy with Sammy Guevara. His first time back on AEW TV in a little while. Got a nice little win. It's fun.
Yep.
Right after this, we had a promo segment with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe apparently is not at Collision this week, but he was talking mad shit, as Joe usually does. He's saying shit like Joe doesn't even see that Moxley has the heart to fight him face to face like a man, that he was gonna start he was gonna have a debt repaid by taking out Claudio, which we got that match announced on Dynamite. Basically, he was talking hella shit to Jon Moxley, basically calling him a whole bitch again, saying it's not even man enough to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. Moxley does come out a little bit later, and he looks a little bit agitated, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Next up, it's time for us to feel the wrath, because we are getting a singles match between Harley Cameron and Megan Bayne.
Oh, God.
This actually was not as one-sided as you would think. It still was pretty one-sided, don't get me wrong. But Harley Cameron did get some offense in. It was nice to see. Megan Bayne also looked kind of shocked throughout the entire match, which was a fun little note to take.
Yeah.
But as per everything, as per usual, what happens? Megan Bayne hits the face descent, kills Harley Cameron, and wins 1-2-3. After the match, they're celebrating. Penelope Ford looks over at Harley Cameron. Megan Bayne looks over, and they're about to take her out. They're about to beat her up. But apparently, Harley Cameron's Coachella buddy, Anna Jay, comes out and hits Megan Bayne in the back with a 2x4, and actually got a little bit over on Megan Bayne this time. Because once she hit it with 2-4, I was like, oh shit, she's gonna die. But she was actually able to get Megan Bayne up out of the ring and stand tall. So we're gonna get that tag match eventually. Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne versus Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. You have any thoughts on it? Oh, go ahead.
AJ, you done fucked up. Hey, AJ, do you listen to our podcast? If you do, you know Megan Bayne's everywhere.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good for her.
And it's gonna be on site again. So, good luck.
Right after this, we have Jon Moxley. He was advertised, but I guess supposed to be surprised that he's coming out to the ring, I guess. But he comes out to the ring, and he is visibly perturbed. He is annoyed. He is frustrated. Any synonym that you want to say angry is what Jon Moxley is. Like, he started talking shit. Like, what are you gonna do? Beat my ass? Who's gonna beat my ass? I know we're gonna beat my ass. Joe, do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to me. No, you think you can do that? You want to put a target on my people? You want to do that to me, bro? Fuck you. You're not going to do shit to me. And that's basically, I'm paraphrasing very hard. But Moxley was very upset out in the ring. So we're getting more hype up for that steel cage match. That's going to be a real good match.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be fun, man. Really fun.
Mm-hmm. Backstage, we get to see the Outrunners. And really, we're not going to talk about much from them. They want to fight Roppongi Vice. Because, Roppongi Vice beat their asses a week ago on Playoff Palooza. So at some point down the line, we're going to get that match. I think it's going to be really fun to see. It's going to be nice to see Roppongi Vice get that win when it happens. But yeah,
Yep.
That's really it. You have anything on this one?
Other than, that thing that you posted up about the, who you're fighting based on your birth date, Truth Magnum would get his ass kicked. That's all I'm going to say.
Bro, I want to give out my birthday. But fucking they got me fighting the Syndicate, bro.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's why I was like, what the fuck? Both of them?
Sorry.
I was so upset. That's actually part of the reason why we went on the tirade earlier. Because apparently I'm supposed to fight them both? No. At the same time? No.
It ain't happening.
No.
See, that just gets Truth Magnum by itself.
Yeah, that's a slight word.
Lightweight.
Yeah. I would have taken anybody else. Anybody else on that poster. It had to be the Syndicate, both of them.
No.
But we go from 2 bruisers to 2 more bruisers because we have to talk about the match of the night for Collision.
Oh, yeah.
We have the second Canadian GOAT, Josh Alexander, versus Brody King. And I wish I could have had time to take notes on this match because I want to break this match down so bad. But I was not able to take notes this week, which sucks. But just know, this was a very fantastic match to watch. They were on the barricade. They were hitting each other with like hardcore chops. Josh Alexander was picking up Brody King like he was nothing, like 3/4 of the way into the match, and hitting crazy DVDs. We got a nice little ankle lock from Josh Alexander. A lot happened in this match. It was a very good match. But if you're asking who the winner was, we didn't have one. We hit a 15-minute time limit draw on this match. Well deserved, by the way, too. So people who were really mad about Brody King losing all the time, he got a draw. Didn't lose here. But overall, it's a very good match. Proffitt, I'm going to give this to you because I know you have a lot of praise for this. So I'm going to give this to you. What are your thoughts?
Man, look, listen. This match was... Look, we got Josh Alexander and Brody King. Both guys just showcasing their talent, man. I love both of these guys. They're awesome. This match was awesome. I like that they're, you know, him and Brody King and Alexander are having a feud now, basically. They're fighting back and forth, so we're going to get a string of really badass, really hard-hitting matches just like this one. And yeah, the fact that it was a draw was kind of interesting to me. I thought there was going to be a for sure winner, but then the time started getting brought up. I was like, wait, what? This is the first time they went to a time limit at any time. Like, in months, actually.
The 15-minute was like kind of shocking to me because I could have sworn I heard 20-minute time limit.
Yeah, same here. I thought I heard 20-minute time limit, but they started counting down, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is probably going to be a draw, and it was a draw, and I was like, oh. I was pleasantly surprised, and it wasn't a way to get out of a title match or anything like that. It was just a normal match where two dudes were wrestling their asses off.
I kind of like that because you know how AEW be using the time limit draws. Like sometimes it's a little. I thought this one was fantastic.
Look, my favorite time limit draw one of my favorite time limit draws of all time between two wrestlers, didn't have anything to do with the title match, but it was a King of the Ring match between Tatanka and Lex Luger.
Ooh.
You guys ever have a chance to watch that match? That match was fantastic. It ended in a draw. So they eliminated each other, basically. It was like two guys wrestling their asses off into a time limit draw. So me dropping a little wrestling knowledge on you. You guys get a chance, watch that match. It was fantastic.
God, what is my favorite? I don't think I have a favorite non-title time limit draw. I've been trying to think when you said that. I think my favorite one, like I said, it's a title match for sure. The first Dominion match between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. The first one that went to time limit draw. And then next year they did the 2 out of 3 falls. Yeah. I think that 60-minute time limit from Okada and Omega was like perfect to me. It was fantastic. I watch that match every once in a while. Still holds up very well.
Oh man, there's some matches I watch every once in a while. Like I always watch Kenta Kobashi versus Misawa. Mm-hmm. Like at least once a year. Because that match is so damn good. And then also Kobashi versus Misawa. Not Misawa. Kobashi versus Jun Akiyama. Mm-hmm. For I think it was a GHC title at the time. Oof. So yeah, like both of those matches are just ridiculous. Like the end of Kobashi and Misawa, they're both laying in the ring and they're immediately running to them, putting the ice on them because they've been wrestling for an hour.
Oh god, it's fantastic.
So good.
Let me drop one more. This technically is not really a time limit draw because we had something happen after, but yeah. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, fuck yeah,
bro.
Look, I remember that one vividly because it was when I first got to the United States.
Oh damn, really?
Yeah, that was like literally the first pay-per-view I watched.
What a fucking first pay-per-view to watch. Yeah. Lord have mercy, that match was fantastic.
Yep, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels is so fucking good.
What we're saying is there are a lot of really good time limit draws out there that are not just 60 minutes, but some like this one that use 15. When they're used right, this is great. And I, like you said already, Josh Alexander and Brody King having like a little mini feud together, glorious.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we went from a 15-minute time limit to a very quick defeat because we have another installment of the Max Caster Open Challenge. Who can survive the best wrestler alive? Literally everyone at this point. Caster, he takes the mic as he does, and he said, that time limit draw got me thinking that there's not a person in this locker room that can survive 5 minutes with the best wrestler alive, Platinum Max Caster. So we're gonna put 5 minutes on the clock. But before we do that, crowd, it's y'all time to do the chant. And let me tell you, this was the loudest chant that we've gotten so far. Yeah. Everyone, like, Max Caster, we talked about it last week. You can get fanfare and fandom in defeat. If you're entertaining enough, you can do it. And as much as I'm not a fan of Max Caster on Twitter, he's kind of growing on me, bro.
I have a theory after you're done talking about the match.
Oh, no, go for it. Go for it. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, let me do that real quick. This will probably take a minute, just like the match did. So we get whoever's going to challenge Max Caster, and it is Daniel Garcia. The time is on the clock, and Max is trying his hardest, but no. Daniel Garcia beat him in technically 59 seconds, but they let that clock go one more second, so it showed a minute. So Max Caster lost in a minute. to Daniel Garcia. After the match, Garcia didn't even bother like talking about Caster. He talked about FTR and said, look, I handle my business. Y'all got business to handle, then we'll talk after. And that is the match in the segment. Proffitt, go for it.
Okay, so my theory is in Max Caster's head, right? He's saying, how long can you last against the best wrestler alive, right?
Uh-huh.
So when you put that 5-minute time limit, you're not supposed to last the whole time limit versus actually beating him and pinning him.
I guess that's true.
So in his eyes, he's like, oh, well, you beat me in a minute, sure, but you didn't last 5 minutes against the best wrestler alive. So I'm still the best wrestler alive no matter what.
Apparently he did like a he did a after segment, you know, like how AEW's been stealing from New Japan lately and doing like, or not lately, like over the last year, they're doing like the backstage comments.
Yeah.
I didn't get to hear what Max Caster said yet because I just saw it like right before we got on the podcast. But apparently he tries to steal a forklift and then he throws down the certificate for the best wrestler alive. Apparently.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanna actually listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it later. But yeah, he's very, very interesting. And yet, I mean, you're right? Because okay, so that would mean if you survive 5 minutes, Max Caster loses. Is that what you mean? Or does he win either way?
So if you last 5 minutes, you survived his challenge. He's challenging you to last for 5 minutes.
Oh, and because Daniel Garcia didn't, Caster technically wins.
In his eyes, he wins.
Yeah. He's delusional enough to believe that. Really quick, before we go to the next up, I have breaking news for you. Because I know you're going to hate this. This is a New Japan thing. New Japan had, their resurgent card just came out while we've been sitting here. Right? There's one match I want to tell you about. That I want to talk to you about because you know what this means. And I kind of want your reaction before we go back to AEW.
Okay.
It's an 8-man tag.
Yep.
Gabe Kidd, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gato versus Matthew and Nicholas Jackson and 2 people that we don't know yet.
God damn it. The Good Brothers.
They're back. We don't know who they are yet. They're exes, right? So we don't know who they are yet technically. But
the Good Brothers.
They're tagging with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Good Brothers are going right back to New Japan. I don't know how they keep on getting jobs, bro.
They must be like either really fun people to be around or whenever they do something, they don't burn bridges. I think that's the main thing.
I think so.
I think they don't go scorched earth like certain people, right? Like
EJ.
They respectably like go, okay, hey, I'm getting this contract. I'm going to let you know. I'm letting you know right now. If you need me to do anything, I'll do my best to accommodate, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like that. Versus like, fuck you all, scorched earth, I'm leaving.
I mean, we got to be honest. Carl Anderson was never openweight champion, and he was able to go to the Tokyo Dome and wrestle under AEW or under WWE contracts.
Yeah, and probably because like he was like, hey, before I'm currently never openweight champion, I got to give them the belt back the right way.
Jeff Cobb,
you know, so yeah, I think that's mainly the reason they don't go scorched earth everybody.
Well, I'm gonna be watching the show. That show's coming up this Friday, so I will be watching it. So I'll let you know what happens.
Boy.
Going back to AEW, next up after the Max Caster Open Challenge, we have Anthony Bowens. Anthony Bowens is in the back. He is talking about how he's the 5-tool player and the pride of professional wrestling. But, funny enough, Blake Christian and Lee Johnson interrupt him.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Christian was talking shit about, like, everyone's talking about you, whatever, you think that, but really, after our match, everyone's talking about how good I am and how I outshined you. And Lee Johnson was talking shit also. So it looks like at some point we're going to get Lee Johnson versus Anthony Bowens. Guess the next week. Should be quick, should be fun. Any thoughts on that one?
No, he's going to get mollywopped.
Yeah.
That's all.
Next up, in what might have been one of my favorite segments of the night, especially how they shot the segment. I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. We had Gates of Agony versus Ray Jazz and Goldie, I think their names were. AKA Victims. This match did not last long. We're not going to talk about the match. Obviously, the Gates of Agony won. We're going to talk about what happened after. During the match, we see Crew. Crew was there. Crew also had like a little promo segment, video package earlier in the night, talking about, how they're past Top Flight and they're ready to move on and they want to move on or whatever. Doesn't matter. That's why I skipped it. It really doesn't matter. They're there and they look like they're trying to attack the Gates of Agony. But then on the screens, we have Big Bill and Brian Keith. And they're saying, we're in the parking lot. Y'all want to come fight? Let's fight. So, funny enough, crew gets completely ignored. So the Gates of Agony run to the back. And we get a commercial break in between this. But we go into the back and they have like a parking lot brawl. And it's shot so interesting because they have the one camera that's back there, right? And like they're coming in and out of like, I don't even know if they were doing this on purpose. I don't know if they were or not. I don't know if this is just what was happening and they just so happened to do this. But like they were coming in and out of the shot. Like Brian Keith got like blasted like 5 feet outside and was like laying down. And he was knocked out for a little bit. Big Bill kind of took out both the Gates of Agony by himself. And then people were coming in camera. There was a random guy who walked in like an idiot and got destroyed.
Yeah, by Big Bill.
By Big Bill.
And the other guy, Tongaloa?
Toa Leona.
Totally.
There was a point where I think Toa was about to attack somebody, and then Bounty Hunter jumps on his back, and they're coming like in and out of screen.
Yeah. You see Bounty Hunter just hanging on for dear life.
They were fighting their asses off in the back. It was such a fun backstage fight segment, and they were back there fighting for a few minutes. And like I said, they had the one camera, and they were just streaming in and out. Like I love this segment so much. I forgot at this point. I kind of forgot who the clear winner was. I think it was Big Bill.
No, there was no winner.
Oh yeah, they kind of like fought to like a draw and kind of like backed off.
No, they didn't even back off. They were still fighting when they.
Oh, that's right.
Went to the ring.
That's right. We never even saw who won. That's right. You're right. Thank you. They were still fighting while by the time we cut back to the ring to the main event. But yeah, they were back there fighting it up. Proffitt, what were your thoughts on the match and the backstage segment?
The match, look, you know how I feel about the Gates of Agony. I love that they're on TV. And now they're getting a feud too? Win. Not just a win, it's a double win. So, like, parking lot fight was great, man. That was a lot of fun. And I feel like this isn't over. So, we're going to get a lot more.
We got a nice little feud. There was also, like, a thing where, excuse me, where allegedly, like, Jericho had canceled a show that was happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I guess it wasn't, I guess Jericho canceled like 3 months ago, but the venue just said it on Saturday. Like, I don't know, it was like a weird, scummy thing. So everyone thought Jericho was going to come back. He did not, thankfully. Yeah, we are moving on to our main event of the night. In what feels like a best of 100 series, we have FTR with Stokely Hathaway. Or I guess Stokely now, he doesn't go by Hathaway anymore. Well, FTR with Stokely, Big Stoke, versus Paragon. Again, Kyle O'Reilly, Roger Strong. But this time, 2 out of 3 falls match. We did have promo packages in before this. The one that I want to talk about is FTR, because FTR was, like Stokely was saying, they already beat y'all like 3 times. Why do we have to do this again?
Yeah.
Which, you know, kind of valid. I get it. But this is probably like the best tag match that they can run right now. Let me tell you, this 2 out of 3 falls match was very good. They've had a lot of time with each other at this point now. So they were able to like grind out the kinks. Because I think the last time we talked about this, like there was like a lot of weird moments between them when they had the match in Vegas. They're like a lot of weird spots. Now they're in a better place. I'm only going to talk about the falls because I thought the falls were very interesting. Fall 1, Kyle O'Reilly had Dax Harwood in the ankle lock. And Stokely was saying immediately just to tap out. Just tap. Now. Just tap. Dax applied. Or Dax tapped out immediately. So he was in the ankle lock for like maybe 10 seconds. Which I think was very smart. We don't get to see that very often. Stokely showing his intelligence. Like, just give it the fall. Who cares? Like, would you rather try to fight out of this ankle lock and potentially break your ankle? Or just tap out really quick right now so they have to let it go so you can save your ankle? 2 out of 3 falls match is smart. Fall 2, very interesting. During the match, it looked like Rod Strong might have hurt his knee because he did like one of his patented backbreakers and his knee kind of buckled at that point, and then they started attacking him a little bit. FTR was able to hit the Shatter Machine on Rod Strong for the 1-2-3. So now we are tied 1-1. It didn't take long for FTR to start attacking the knee. They had done this throughout the entire match. But Cash hit like a nasty like chop block that did not look great. It looked like Rod Strong's knee exploded. I don't think it did because he did walk out on his own power. I'm pretty sure he's fine, but he was selling his ass off if he is okay. And that chop block took him out of the ring to where FTR then hit the Shatter Machine on Kyle O'Reilly for the 1-2-3. So now FTR has beaten another tag team in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And they've now beaten Paragon a few times. I skipped a lot over this, but this was a very good match. Profit, what were your thoughts?
Again, man, this was a very fun match, and what they, FTR is the best FTR. Period.
Oh yeah.
Like, when they are just like being mean, bad, just mean badasses or bad dudes. They're just mean. That's when they're at their best. Like, none of this face shit anymore. Let them be mean. That's what they do.
Fantastic. Right after the match, Danny Garcia decided. Well, he said he was going to do this. He said, once y'all handle your business, I'm going to talk. And he came out with the microphone and a crowbar. And Danny Garcia, I don't know what this was, but he was out there. He said, as much as I want to hit y'all over the head with this crowbar, I can't. But after what y'all did to cope, what you did to me, almost breaking my neck, I'm looking for answers. And we're not going to have no therapy session. So next week, it doesn't matter which one of you is it. Doesn't matter how many of you there are. Y'all come to the ring. And let's fight. Afterwards, like after the show, Stokely said that you're not gonna know who's gonna be in the ring, who's gonna wrestle. So it is open to anyone, even Stokely. Stokely's there and open also. So we'll see what happens. But at some point, I think on Dynamite, we're gonna be getting a member of FTR versus Daniel Garcia. You have any thoughts on this one and on Collision as a whole?
I think that match stipulation is gonna be fun, but interestingly enough, it could also be like Stokely has another client that he brings in too. Who knows, right?
It would be interesting.
But Collision is Collision. It is a solid show, great wrestling, fun all around. Like, it's hard to hate Collision, man. Great show.
It was fantastic. I really enjoyed this Collision. Like we kind of talked about before, like there's not a lot to really break down from here. This was definitely like a setup episode for Dynamite and Collision in Detroit, because they're doing programming now for everybody. Dynamite's gonna be on Wednesday. Collision's gonna be on Thursday again. NBA playoffs round 2. So
this week?
Yeah, this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. NBA is really busy right now. They're in round 2 of the playoffs. Not that it matters because the Lakers are already gone, so I don't care. But but yeah, that's really it. Do you have any thoughts on AEW as a whole this week before we wrap this one up?
AEW as a whole was solid, man. Like, there was nothing like crazy that I would complain about or anything like that. It was, again, another solid show. Everybody got in there, they grinded it out, did their thing, and we had some great matches. The first match of Dynamite, last match of Dynamite were both super good. Mm-hmm. We had the Brody King and Josh Alexander match. That was fantastic. The FTR and Paragon that you just talked about, it was also fantastic. So we had matches, and we had great matches and we had good matches. There was no bad matches.
No, not one.
And then the segments were also pretty fun and they were great too. So yeah, good. Another great week at AEW. It was solid.
It's still crazy that we're so far away from Double or Nothing, but we're gonna make it there. End of this month.
Yeah, man. Like, just think we got what 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. So it's good stuff, man.
I agree with you. If that's it, it's time to wrap this one up.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Y'all know what it is. If you made it to this point of the podcast, that means you must enjoy this podcast, which means you want to hear us talk more about like 100 Men versus Gorilla or anything else that we're talking about, anime, pro wrestling, video games, politics, anything that we talk about. So make sure that you follow all of us on Blue Sky. You can follow Proffitt at Proffitt, Proffitt. You can follow the podcast Blue Sky at TAGPW Podcast. You can follow me at Shikoku. I'm not going to spell it because I don't care. So make sure you follow all of us. We can talk about a lot of things. Interact with us. Talk with us about whatever you want to talk about. We're watching a lot of anime right now. We got to talk about video games. It's probably coming up really soon. There's a lot of things that we talk about. So make sure you're following all of us on Blue Sky and we can interact. Mm-hmm. On top of that, if you cannot listen to us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify. If you look up TAGPW Podcast, you'll be able to find this podcast off the top rope. Eventually, we're going to get like our little setup ready, so you're going to be able to see all of our podcasts, which Proffitt will explain in a little bit. But again, if you can't listen to us on YouTube, and if you want to listen to us on the go, definitely make sure you listen to our audio experience on Spotify. Proffitt, tell them about the YouTube.
All right, guys. So the YouTube. Of course, as usual, we would like it if you tap that like button. If you like the content that you're getting right now, if you like the show, tap that like button. For sure helps us out. And it tells it tells the algorithm not only that you liked it, but people with your same taste will also like the show too. So let's get that in there. Tap that like button. Comment. I know we talk a lot of shit. We talk a lot of stuff. We talk a lot about everything. Hell, put your comment down on who would win a 100 Men versus Gorilla. Any of the things that we talked about, the WWE releases, whatever. Comment, we'll answer back. We'll get a back and forth going, not only here, but also on our socials. So, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get all of our content whenever it comes out. And remember, you don't only get one podcast, you get 3. You get this one, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, which is Off the Top Rope. You get the OVA, which is us talking about anime, which we're going to have one really, really soon. And we got the Command Grab, which we talk about video games that we're playing and, what's out there in the industry as a whole. So tapping that subscribe and bell button gets you all of that. And thank you very much. And once again, it's time for us to go. So you know what we got to do. We out.